My name is Brien Jackson, and the app that I made is a Worktime app, which the basic function of this app is to limit or completely disable other apps on your phone so you can better concentrate on whatever work you're doing. The primary target is like college students because we all use social media and sometimes we can procrastinate a lot. But it can also be used for, workplace or other stuff like that. So the first screen state that I have after the title page is the home page. And the users get to this page after they sign into the app, create an account, which is essentially just email and password. And on this screen, you'll be able to see the logo on the navigation bar at the top, which is just the logo for now. And you have the options of starting a new work session, changing the settings of the app, or exiting the app. Starting a new work session, you'll be able to configure the settings for your work session. You'll be able to figure out what apps will be completely disabled, or change the settings for certain functions of other apps on your device. And settings, you'll be able to change the settings of the app. So you'll be able to create presets for your work sessions. So you'll be able to basically have preset configurations for each work setting. Like if you have something you do on a consistent basis, like you have an hour or so you spend at the library, you can just have that as a preset. And then exiting the app, it takes you back to your phone's or device's home screen. And I should probably say that as of now, it's just a mobile app for iOS and Android tablets and phones. And eventually it'll have like a computer app as well. But as of now, it's just mobile. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Max Allen. So for the exit button, are you really sure that that's necessary? Because every smartphone that I've encountered just has a button to go to the home page, and and there's always separate ways to actually fully exit out the app so that it's not running in the background.
Or is that more of a logout button?
Yeah, it's more of a logout button, so more than an exit.
Probably label it.
Yeah. I thought of it that way, but I just kind of put it as exit anyway. Okay, that's a good feedback. Is there anything else?
Zach Broughton. So on the navigation bar, usually all iPhones and I assume Androids have the bars at the very left, and also the Wi-Fi symbol to the right of that. Does this app is that going to be in the actual app, or is that just an example?
Oh no, where the battery and stuff. That's just an example. I just based off
so
of my
it just
phone.
uses your device's default.
Yeah, it uses the device's default.
All right.
I should probably clarify that too. Are there any other feedback on this page?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the new session page. This page you go to after you hit the new session button on the home page, and this is where you'll be choosing which menu to go to set up app settings, session alarm, the devices that are affected, and then presets. So starting with app settings, like I said before, you'll be able to go in and kind of change which apps are disabled or what functions of whatever apps are disabled or limited in any way. You'll learn about that more on a later page. And session alarm, you have where you can set an alarm for whatever work session you have. Say you have something to do after you're working, you can set an alarm, it'll remind you. Or it can be used as a break or something. You can set the alarm and disable the app temporarily. And you have devices where you'll be able to choose which devices are affected by the work time session. So which devices will have disabled apps or limited apps. In order to do that, you have to have the app downloaded on those devices too and linked to them. The app is free, so it doesn't you have to pay for anything, but you have to set that up. And presets, you'll be able to choose what preset you use should you have any saved. It's highly recommended that you do have presets because it just makes it easier. And then at the bottom of the page, you have the begin session button. That's going to be there on every menu screen that you see listed here: app settings, session alarm, devices, and presets. And you'll have that. Hitting that, you'll get a confirmation pop-up, and it'll be, "Are you sure you want to start the session?" And then you hit OK. And at the top, the navigation bar now is active. You have a back button that takes you back to the home menu from this menu, and you have the Worktime logo. It actually doubles as a home button for the app. So if you tap that and you're in the app settings menu, you can tap the logo and it'll take you back all the way to the first page of the app. And then you have a drop-down menu at the far right, and that you'll be able to navigate through the other menus that are listed here. Say you're in app settings or session alarm, you'll be able to hit the drop-down menu, choose another menu to go to. You don't have to go back to this screen. Did I explain that right? Is that kind of understandable? Okay, so are there any feedback for this one? Yeah, you can first.
Ian McGlasson, and one question is, what exactly does the presets determine? Is that just the timing of it, like you said, for an app library? Does that save all of the settings into one?
What presets does is, if you're back on the home menu and you decide to set one up, you can essentially set up a work session like you see here, except you won't see the presets menu. You'll be able to set up what apps are disabled or what app functions are not usable. You'll be able to set a Worktime alarm if you like to. You'll be able to set up what devices are affected by it.
Okay.
Using a preset, when you choose it from this one, you can choose library preset or class preset or something like that. And you won't have to go through all of these menus to configure whatever settings that you'd like.
And is there a way to basically have it a scheduled one where the session automatically starts, say if you know that you're going to need the app to be active from 7 o'clock to 8 on next Friday? Is there a way to schedule it ahead of time or just manually activate it at that time?
I get why you would need that menu in the upper right when you were in, say, app settings or devices, but is it really necessary on this screen where they're all listed right in the middle of the screen? Or should it be reserved for just inside those?
Probably not. I mean, honestly, on this screen, I might be able to use it to where you can go from new session to setting up presets or something like that, or setting up the app settings. But on this screen, I guess it wouldn't be useful to have it to navigate through these menus listed. That's good.
I know I received feedback about this on mine. The back button, it's kind of hard to know, if you're a new user, where things are going to go back to.
Right.
So I don't know if putting where it's going to go back to next to it help at all.
It would, probably. I mean, yeah, it probably would. Because the way I thought about it, on Android, you don't have the back and then saying what it goes back to. It's usually iOS phones.
Yeah.
That would probably be a good feature to have on this specifically. I was going based off of Android on this, so I kind of...
See, on this screen, though, I don't know if that would be entirely necessary because there's only one screen before it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
And the way that I thought of the back button, it would just go to the previous screen, the previous home menu screen, the screen if you were on the app settings or something like that.
I guess, though, if you were to do it to one, you might as well do it for the other to keep it consistent. Ramiro Tovar, by the way. Gotta drop the names. You know what I mean? So, if you were, say you were to do it with this, for, the following one, so that way it tells you go back to this screen, it would be kind of I don't know, it just would seem kind of off that you did it for one and not the other. So, you could keep it the same way, or you could change it for it so to always tell you what's the screen you'd be returning back to.
Right. Is there any other feedback for this screen? Okay. Moving on to app settings. Okay, so for this screen, this is where you set up how different apps will behave when the Worktime session is active. So all of your apps that you have on that device are listed here, and you can scroll through the list. And if you tap the app's name or the icon of the app, you'll be able to completely disable it, and it'll look like what the Facebook app does. It'll be grayed out. Or if you want to change specific settings of it, down your Snapchat, you can tap the More Options icon to the right of the app name, and you'll be able to disable something like notifications or messages or something like that. And it'll kind of let you customize specific things about each app. And like I said, the Begin Session button, you can begin it from there, or you can choose what menu you'd like to go to at the top. But yeah, what about feedback here?
I don't know if the scroll thing on the side is standard on Android. but I don't know if that would be entirely necessary if, like, the standard for scrolling on smartphones is just swiping upwards.
It is.
Oh yeah, that's you swipe up. That's just there to let you know it's a list.
It's also useful if you have a long list to be able to jump straight to the end quickly without having to scroll through every single thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty standard to have a bar on the side of some sort.
I've never used an Android, so I didn't really know.
Oh no, that's fine.
And also, does it the app recognize every single app that you have?
Yes, it'll recognize most of the apps that you can change settings for. Like there are certain apps on your phone you can't change settings for. Like I know there's something about data usage or something like that. You wouldn't be able to change settings for.
So it would just draw them from the like notification settings page of like the settings on your phone. So it's like only the apps that can give you notifications are in here.
Yeah, and it'll also just be apps that you may have just downloaded from the Google Play Store or Apple Store or something like the App Store. Apps that you can change, essentially. So, anything else? And then the next screen is just a drop-down menu over the app settings screen. It just essentially shows how that works. You'll be able to tap that and then go through the different menus that are listed up when you're setting up the work session. So you'll be able to go to like session alarm or devices or presets from the app settings screen without having to go back one complete screen.
Just a quick question. So each drop-down screen would be unique to each individual app you said, right? Oh, no, this is the last one. My bad. Never mind. Yeah, never mind.
It will be.
It would be, yeah. So that's a really good feature then.
Okay, yeah.
For this, the arrow at the bottom of that menu, it kind of makes it look like there's more to that menu. Like you could scroll down or tap that to see more. So it was just a little more clear that that exits out of that menu.
Okay.
Oh, so like maybe faced up so that way it implies that it would like tuck it back in.
Or an X or something.
Oh, yeah.
I did do a little research on that, and most have it down for some
Yeah.
reason.
I think it's because
Like-
a lot of the times this drop-down menu starts as an arrow pointing down, so it looks like
Right.
you just grabbed the
Yeah.
arrow and dragged it.
I see.
Is how they
Yeah,
normally
that was
have
something
it.
that I thought about too, like having it
Yeah.
face up
Yeah.
instead. But that's most how they look.
I think that is a pretty common thing to have it.
Yeah, I mean, like
As
once
it is.
like the user would like eventually use it once, they'd understand. Like they wouldn't get confused each time. It'd be like, okay, that's fine.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that was kind of a short screen. Is there anything else on this? Maybe it's okay. And then the last screen that I have is the session alarm screen. And on this screen, essentially, you set the alarm for whatever work session you have if you want to. You'll be able to scroll up and down on the number fields or use the arrows at the top and the bottom. And then you can choose AM or PM if you have your phone set in like the 12-hour time period, or that option won't be available if it's in 24-hour like military time. And then once you set the alarm, you'll be able to confirm it at the bottom, and you'll get a little pop-up, set this time. You'll be click OK, and then it'll set the alarm, and then you'll be able to go through whatever other menus you'd like to.
This might be beneficial if you could type in the numbers as well as just scrolling for them.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Rodriguez hand. I just want to ask, is there a reason why you don't have the 24-hour function? Just
Oh, this just shows the 12-hour. I did mention in like the explanation at the right, like it would be different if it was 24.
Would it just know, or would you have to set it like?
Well, it's in whatever time that your phone is in. Like my phone is in military
So,
time,
okay.
so it would just show up as military time on there.
oh, okay.
Sorry if I didn't clarify on that a little more.
Like for the scrolling feature, does it only go up to 12, the left, or does it go all the way up to 24?
If it's on the 12-hour, it only goes up to 12, and if it's on the 24, it goes up to whatever hour it is there.
That's under time settings.
But yeah, those are my screens, and then once you're done setting up everything for the work session, you'll be able to click begin session. I don't have a screen for this. I really should have, but once you begin session, you get a confirmation, and then you'll get a unique code that is either sent to you via text or just on the screen, or actually both, so that way you won't lose it. And then you'll be able to input that code once the work session begins. That way you can unlock your phone. But that's mainly just so you can't just end the session right away and then go back to whatever you're doing. But yeah, that's my Worktime app.
That's good.
Thank you guys for your feedback.